How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking about one of the most pressing challenges for training organizations, and that's how to increase learner placement rates by 40% in 2025. You're thinking about it, it helps bring in more learners, that helps create more revenue, that helps save time, and it still makes you one of the best in the class for whatever you're teaching, right? Now, if you're struggling to get learners job ready, boost your placement stats, this video is packed with actionable insights for you. And yes, we'll show you exactly how some of our tools can transform and do this for your training organization outcomes. So I want to start off with, why do you feel like placement rates are a struggle? What could be the key factors causing this, right? Placement rates are a critical metric for any training organization. Yet so many struggle with making learners feel like they're doing good, like they're getting placed, like employers are getting more satisfied, right? One of the things I'll think is like avoidable mistakes in interviews, right? Vague answers, poor storytelling, weak technical demonstrations, outdated resumes that fail to make it past ATS filters or just don't align with the employer needs. Those are two right there. And also a really big one, confidence gaps. Students actually have a problem with technical skills and maybe fail to present themselves effectively. Even if you do have really good skills, sometimes you fail to showcase it, right? And now they don't just affect the learners, they impact your reputation as a career-focused training provider, right? Right? Employers might hesitate to partner, learners might hesitate to join and pay for services somewhere else. So we want to fix this once and for all. And as you can see in front of you, this is what a job seeker dashboard looks like. This is what your learners get access to depending on what you like. And it's a plethora of tools to help them win, right? And one of the things that are really important is being able to understand how are you going to present what you just learned in an interview. And that's where we can help you that and make that happen. We're going to dive into that right now. Over here, Nexa has two kind of interviews that your learners can do. You can do an interview practice. This is where the settings are a bit more chill. You can simply select the role you want to do. I'll give you a very simple example. If you're a training organization and you teach software engineering, you would probably be in the developer section, and you can select whatever you guys focus on. Many coding boot camps, like you want to call them, either do front end, full stack, or usually back end, and focus on different types of section in there. So you would come here and do that. In this case, I can show you an example of, let's say you're covering FANG. You'd come here and do these type of technical questions, or if you want to come back, you can do something a bit more behavioral related, and you would pick a detailed language. So if you're teaching React, which is a very popular JavaScript type of framework, you can come here and start a behavioral question. Now, before we get started, what are the biggest problems that we see students face? Well, personalized responses. They focus too much on technical or too much on behavioral, don't understand when to correctly communicate their teamwork and problem solving matters. Their time management, sometimes they just ramble answers. They fail to fully address questions within a given time. These all affect what an employer thinks, because as much as you're smart, as much as you can be so technical, you're working for somebody's company, you're representing them, and you guys are representing the future workforce, right? You're training them a great skill. You want to make sure they can present that skill. But the coolest part is, once they're done this, they can literally do real-time feedback and make this happen. So as you can see here, I'm going to start this and show you how a few of these different tools look like. And then from there, we'll go back and continue. So I'm about to start a behavioral tool, and I'm going to just randomize the questions and start it with the timer.
Hi, let's practice an interview for front-end developer. Describe how to use WebSockets for real-time communication in web applications.
Okay, so I'm no front-end developer, but just to simplify the process for you, this is more behavioral, right? They're not actually going to code, but they're going to explain their process. They can, if they want to, they can text it, they can answer it with a microphone, and upon completion, it'll generate a feedback report for them. Now, I did mention a few other things they can do, other types of interviews. If you're not wrong, you saw a FANG style. So we can actually take this technical as well. So if you know anything about working in coding and software engineering, you get asked technical questions that are theoretical and sometimes company related. So you can select different companies, your difficulty level, or topics. Once again, I'm no developer, but here's an example of a two-sum question. All of a sudden, I have a really cool and awesome coding simulator that I can now read the question, get the topics, get the hint, And in real time, I can start coding away at what I want to do on the right side. As you guys can see here, this is what we call a technical interview question. If you're not sure, you can always ask our tool for help. And then on the bottom here, you let it know and I'll try to help you as much as I can. Like, how do I do X, right? Once again, I'm no developer, but I do understand the use of this when I was working in the field and doing light types of coding. Now, you can also do other different types of things like this. So if you want to go and pick other roles, other systems, this is called the interview practice. Once I complete it, I don't have to rely on the career advisor right away. I can simply go to my profile. I can simply go to my profile and press analytics. And over here, my practice rounds, aka interview practice, will be seen here. And depending on what I completed and what I didn't complete, so if people skip questions and they don't, you'll basically be able to see this. As you can see here, this person did not, or maybe me in this demo environment, did not complete the question. If I pick something random and hopefully it can show me, it should have some information populated to figure out. For example, here, where it asked the question and it totally told me that, hey, I'm not doing the best, I could answer it better. The better you answer, the more detail you get, right? So if we look at other examples that I can pull up, we can find some good detail. A lot of these are empty on my end, but let me spend some time and see if I can find a pretty cool and detailed analysis for you guys. And if we can't find it, at least we got to try it here. Okay, so here's another example where answer was lacking, gives the grading score, gives some pretty good detail. Like I said, the better you answer this, the better you get detail inside of it. So that's one of the benefits you get. Here's an example of a detailed interview simulation, interview practice round feedback report. And as you can see here, my clarity, relevance, confidence, communication skills, all of this was inputted here. Once again, we do this a lot, but if you answer it correctly, you get some pretty cool details on it. And it's super helpful because if you're coding as well, as you saw in the previous example, it'll show you all of it. So coming in next, once you do that, I'd like to go back to our dashboard. We have something called the Simulator Pro, and this is a little bit more unique, where you simply will either select a resume from what you created over here. As you can see here, we have an option that lets you create resumes, or you can simply select a certain type of resume from the bottom here, and then you'll be able to enter a job description, select an interview type. So for example, this is the first round of the interview, and go on and start your speech-to-speech simulation. If nobody knows what they're doing, there's literally a video on how to use it as well. It makes it very helpful. Now, if you're looking for a deep dive in all of this, you're happy to check our other video on YouTube. I'll link it in the description where you can see how this works in action. Another important thing is interviews aren't the only hurdle, right? Let's talk resumes, because that's the first thing somebody learns about you when they want to get to know you or take your employer, or basically see if you're the right fit for their company. Did you know that over 70% of resumes are rejected by ATS systems before a human ever sees them? Most people in your field probably know this, but they're still lacking some key information details. Lucky for us, because Nexa also builds recruiting software and systems, we know exactly how the recruiters, the hiring managers, what they're expecting, what they're looking for from these candidates coming in to optimize and bring people into teams. Now, we help learners optimize their resumes by one time identifying missing keywords, formatting the ATS, highlighting the achievements correctly. This is the key important thing, and not flooding the entire resume with AI. One thing we hate is with all these modern tools, they take a resume and they just do like a huge plaster of just AI generation, and that's not what companies want. We want to know you. We use AI to bring your current value out. We use AI to maybe refine things, to make your message clearer so it's easily communicated. But we will never use AI to fake or impersonate who you are as a person. And I hope that makes true sense, because this is a really important part in this video. I want you guys to understand that. Now, I would like to show you some real world success stories, right? Using the resumes has so many different benefits. So why don't we dive into them? So when you look at the resume tool, the biggest benefit of the resume tool is it's organized, right? You have break-in layers from the job types, meaning if I'm doing an SDR role, I can break that up. If I'm working in retail, if I'm working in IT, how does that happen? Well, when I create a resume, I'm allowed to tag it, right? So when I tag a resume, I can pick, well, what's the company, all that. And then once you exit, you can basically have that option saved. So every time you create a resume, When you also upload another resume, same thing. You can save it by the name. What's your name? Target job role, target company name, and it'll go in the right places, and then you upload your file. Now, if you're wondering how this system works or what's the different benefits of it, well, I'll show you right here. So you have your obviously traditional personal information, professional summary, your different types of certifications, top skills, work experience, and education, and all a bunch of different things. Well, what makes this unique? You're probably wondering, well, how can I make this better? Well, if you do this correctly, you can, one, move everything around, update it in real time, change the fonts. Everything is easily, interchanged and done. It's very, fun and easy to do. You can simply go ahead and add really cool things, such as your personal information, professional summary, proper certifications, and have AI enhance that on a later end. I hope that makes sense. If I come back here and I don't want to edit certain things, I can edit like an introductory title. Like, for example, a lot of people miss this when they're building a good resume. You want to tell them, well, what are you planning to do? Are you in IT, software, sales, like whatever program you guys teach? You guys should let them have that. What's a key attribute, a very key general attribute? So if I was in sales, I would probably focus on driving revenue growth. And that's kind of what if I were to put that here, for example, revenue expert, and I were to save it, you can see that somewhere here coming up, and then you can format how you want it to show and all that once you're done. I say get the text in first, format after. Aside from that, you can easily pick and remove things, right? You don't want to put certification under beginner, sure. If you don't want to have education, sure. Usually when you have no experience, you can move education to the top. Everything is interchangeable. You want to remove all of these? Well, guess what? You know what? I don't want to talk about my languages, right? Cool. Gone. No problem, right? You no longer see it. You can also move it directly from here as well. If you want to preview the design, you can change the design and everything. But the best part about it is if I feel like, okay, so far I got all the human text, or I got enough of information about myself or my life's work I can, then you can actually move to the next step, and you can use it temporarily to enhance it. So for this example, I'm just going to do a quick example, and if I wanted to, I can enhance using this. So I can enhance it, and I can select what I want to enhance. So if I want to select a certain aspect, I can select it. For now, there's not much I want to enhance with this resume, but if I were, for example, professional summary, I can enhance top skills. Most likely we encourage people to maybe your main introduction, that's the first thing someone reads, your work experience. You want to do that. Aside from that, once you're all completed to go, you're pretty much ready to go and you're on your way, and you can go ahead and go this. Another really key important thing about the resume that I've missed here is if you go to your work experience and you're going to edit your work experience, what you want to focus on is a key achievement. I always tell people to have a key achievement added that will show and that'll be visible. So if I can do this, instead of just a title or a job, it actually shows a key achievement, because people don't have time, they don't understand you. A key achievement will make you stand out really quickly, as well as a very, very high level and a sharp professional summary, which we call the value proposition here at Nexa. All of this is done for you, meaning you as a career advisor, once this is all completed, you simply can come here, check analytics tools, and see it all for you. If you want to go in detail as what just happened right now, so if I created a resume as a job seeker and I work for your academy, you can simply come here, find the individual's name, trying to see an individual I can remember who has a resume. All right, and there you go. So now once this individual populates and he comes up, boom, I can see all the resumes they created that were once over here, and they can also do the same thing. As you know, if I am done and I was completed, if he entered a job description correctly, another feedback report. This is very similar to what the tool we're using in our actual ATS or actual recruiting tools that help ATSs analyze resumes. And the best part about it is there is now an option that will give you a warning here if it's too much AI. If they're saying, hey, you made this resume directly from AI, you'll get an AI risk warning. So that's a really cool thing that I wanted to add. Let's get to the next step. As you know, we work with one of our organizations, Quali, and they were able to have an average, I believe, 35% improvements in students' interview simulation scores. Their placement rates went up by 40% in 6 months, and their resume rejections dropped by 60% after implementing these organizational tools correctly. And it's pretty straightforward. It's actually common sense why that would happen. You guys get more insights. You guys can provide better details. they get stronger tools to work with, aka the job seekers. So real results powered by actionable data, right? The best thing I can say is confidence is one of the most underrated factors in placement success, and confidence comes from preparation, right? So doing all of this, students get instant insights into their strengths, their weaknesses, and they fine-tune their approach. Literally with the interview tool that I showed you guys, by just speaking, you're actually getting better at communicating over time, and that's my favorite part. Now, what does this mean for you guys? Well, you guys are able to save time and money and efficiency while increasing the personal customization of how people feel, of how your job seekers feel, of how their career service experience is, right? And overall, I think what you're here for, what that does is it does your key metric of getting your placement rates up. When your placement rates up goes up, your reputation goes up. When your reputation go up, that usually ideally gets more people to want to learn whatever you guys are teaching, right? Or whatever type of employment service you're offering due to the great help. So that's one of my favorite things I like to see. And like I said, it's not just about helping students succeed. It's about, you're teaching, you guys teach great skills, and now you're giving them the confidence and tools they need to land a job that will change their life. So, right. If you guys found this useful, please comment, like, subscribe. What would you like to see next? What demos we can create for you? What tips, insights we can create? We'll be happy to always help. And once again, if you guys ever need anything, thank you for stopping by. We'll see you in the next one.